and that's it.
If I have a if I have a belief that I hold to independent of rigorous scientific evidence,
Yeah, it is like I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think that you're the type of guy who will see something, right, and you will hold a belief, and even though your belief do not have a correlation with reality, or the expected result is not the one you expected, or not the expected result, the outcome was different from your expected result, you will still hold that belief, because it is justified and well subscribed.
but
So,
depends on the issue.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
There are some beliefs which I hold to, and it would take a stronger level of disconfirmation to defeat the belief. But there are other beliefs which are not so dogmatically held, which I have, which even a single instance of an incongruity caused me to become skeptical, possibly abandon it at that moment.
Hmm. So, will you agree with me that the ultimate judge is reality itself? Whenever you are putting your thoughts or your beliefs to the test, i- um, if they actually have this predictive ability, and you're actually getting the result you want out of life, then it is validation itself, right? Or do you think it needs to be justified for you to even consider that to be, true?
I could entertain it without being justified, and then once I see some kind of justification, then I would adopt it as true.
Hmm. 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 Okay. In you feel, or what happens with the things that are not justified or verified, by academia and all these things that you appeal to often? Or what if I told you that that process is flawed? Would you still trust your beliefs?
Have an example of not verified by academia I would hold or
No, no, I'm
might
talking
consider.
about the things that yeah, the things that are backed up by academia, or that might be flawed.
Well, if they're flawed, if there's some error, I would like to know about the error, and I would like to evaluate it in new light of the possible error.
So let me ask you something then. So to you, okay, what do you think academia is for?
Um,
Knowledge, but yeah, knowledge what?
well, when you say academia, do you mean like colleges and universities, or do you
Yeah,
mean
of course,
like
academia. Yeah,
high-level expert?
well, academia like
Because
colleges, universities, and yeah, of course. I mean,
so
those experts were validated by academia, right?
when you say academia, I think of like colleges and teachers and professors. I don't normally think of top experts in their field doing, I don't know, groundbreaking research or something.
But would you? Okay, so let's talk about these experts. What does an expert? The word expert mean?
An expert would be somebody who has thousands of hours of experience in a particular field and has a
Pragmatic
comprehensive knowledge.
experience, right?
They
I
have
understand. So pragmatic experience, right? Right. This knowledge
well,
being applied, right,
not simply the
to a
experience, but
particular.
also they have a wide body of knowledge on their subject of expertise. They have the experience, they have the street smarts, but they also have the knowledge. So they have the book.
The book smarts. Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. Now, but the reality is, experts have or are able to generate more knowledge because as a result of their activity, right? So experts, many you know are the ones that are able to produce new knowledge, right? Because they are on the field applying this knowledge and trying to make it, useful, or try to use that knowledge to gain more knowledge, right? More, sure, okay. So then the expert, what he does is he finds shit, and he understands things about what he's doing, and then he's able to come up with new knowledge, right? That he tries to communicate by, creating books and whatnot. Yes, and then those books and that knowledge, that study, that research and whatnot, is then adopted by academia for it to be taught, right?
Well, so the process of, and it's not just experts that can do it. Laymen could do it too, but it's more uncommon. It's, yeah, more uncommon for a layman to develop a new theory of knowledge or test or some
I
novel
understand. So,
prediction or
Big
something.
Chum, would you agree that there is, or the in the original, right, source of knowledge is reality itself? Our interactions about reality and the way we try to understand it, right? That is the main source, right? Of course, the people who have, experimented with reality, that reached certain conclusions that then became, a theoretical knowledge, for it to be, communicated and, you know make others know what these findings were, right? So,
I
I
don't
don't.
think that any researcher or expert is not trying to observe and test and predict reality.
Exactly, exactly. So, but then you would understand how a person is able to extract knowledge from reality itself, and not necessarily because to you it seems like the only trustable source of knowledge are the one coming from academia, right?
By academia, I'm guessing, you seem to be using it like the field of expert at the top, right? But
Yeah.
I didn't say that that's the only credible source for.
No, I
I
understand, but
admitted
you
that.
lean towards that, field or source of knowledge. Yes.
Yeah, I admitted that it's more common for the experts in a field to ones that break new ground.
Okay, whenever you're saying that, what fields are you talking about? Are you talking about medicine, science, or what type of science? I mean, what field?
It's a general statement because we're talking
Yeah, yeah, but you have a particular field in mind whenever you're saying that. Which is
I
it?
don't,
Yes, you. Okay,
because
then you
we're
don't.
talking about science, right? So I'm talking about all the scientific.
Okay,
So I
okay,
guess
okay.
we could pick one, um like geology or paleontology, like
So,
Mary Schweitzer.
what about social studies? Would you consider that science,
What are you
especially the
calling
ones that have been peer reviewed?
social studies?
Well, you mean there are people trying to understand, what goes on society, and from the individual to the collective, right? There
Yeah,
are
I'd
people
probably.
trying to study and to understand the dynamics of in the individual with the collective and with family and whatnot. I mean, there are people trying to do this, and they try to use objective tools to achieve knowledge, right? So they will do certain research or statistical research, if you will, for them to reach certain
What are you
conclusions
guys even
that in
talking
the
about,
end,
man?
I'm
it
curious.
becomes like some
Chum.
findings.
You've been talking to Tasteless for like half an hour now. What is the claim that is in dispute?
We're just fucking
There
talking,
is
talking.
no.
I'm just
So
trying
what
to
is the point that
understand
Tasteless
big
is
But
trying?
yeah,
chums.
I would consider social studies, especially if there's some journal that's published in which is that would be in accord with scientific uh process,
Standard, right? You would
scientific
consider
method.
that to be trustable, right? Okay. So what if
All
I
right,
told
let's
you
wrap this up,
that
boys.
there's a flaw in that fucking process? would you still hold to that as your primary, or would it break your confidence about those types
Flaw
of
in peer review.
conclusions? Yeah.
What's the flaw in peer?
Because you seem to assume that these people are very rigorous, right?
Oh
And
God,
that
why did you do
people,
that lead in?
well, what?
He led you in, he asked you questions so you can talk for another 10 or 15 minutes again.
Holy fucking shit! Well, then that's it. Thank you, chum. I appreciate your conversation and your perspective, dude.
Well, that was a total fucking waste of time.
Dude, it was a conversation, Tomer. Not everything is about the shit show.
What was the point you were trying to make?
Well, I have my personal, point.
You wanted to
You
show me
missed
the
it.
flaw in peer review along with the scientific. Oh, I would like to hear what that is. Still have it. Don't want to give it to me.
Which room do you want me to move you guys to?
Well, I mean, if he can just like,
Tomer, shut the fuck up.
if he can just like succinctly make his point, tell me what he's trying to say.
I already
think the
told
room
you
is
that
gonna-
I was going to change my strategy, Tomer. It is different. It is different now. Do you understand that? It is different now.
Evolving.
I am evolving.
That's false.
Well, then shut the fuck up.
What strategy?
Some strategy.
Going to attack the root of knowledge itself, which is why he was upping Declan, and now he's trying to attack the root of the scientific method.
I will make you see the light. Make no mistake about it.
See what light? Why don't you just state the
Eventually.
claim?
I think he was talking about peer review, not actually the science.
These things,
So-
they take time. It is not as fucking snapping your fingers, right?
All right.
I mean, what's the point?
Don't worry, we'll get there. Just be patient.
Alice, what do you think about Taste? Do you actually think that he thinks he's like making a point here?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I was just thinking, I don't know what to think about him. Before he left the server, I thought that he didn't care what he said and he just was doing it all to get attention. But then it's like he was so upset that he left the server, so I don't know, it was weird. But I have no fucking idea. Lots of times, I guess, I've said this multiple times before, I like to socialize with Tasteless, but then you just start obstructing Tasteless, and I try to tell you before the falling out in here or whatever to please stop obstructing so much. But ever since like my first conversation or two with Tasteless, I've never tried to have serious conversations with him. I'm only like doing social
Oh, you
stuff,
just
and
wrote
then
him
he was
off. You
trying
just
to
figured like
me
it was
to
a waste
stay
of
out of it.
time. Talk Tasteless.
My first talk with Determinism,
Me too.
and that was like a 2 or 3 hour long talk.
Yeah, he
I
just
felt
kept.
like
I had that conversation with him too. All he does over and over just says that you can choose.
Oh,
Dude,
This is a motherfucking hate song.
How are y'all doing smart?
Like we'd be the whole like matter that's in dispute is whether or not you can choose, and his argument was, you can choose.
right. I remember I explained to him determinism, and he that everything had a cause for why it was done. But then, like the next day or two, he wanted to argue for determinism. Didn't have an argument for it. The argument was posting like
That's
a
false,
picture of
Sean.
like the definition of indeterminism.
That's false, John.
But
What happened was that you gave me your argument for determinism, and I showed you where the problem was with your argument. And then, listen. No. But you seem to make a false, or you seem to misunderstand that when I said free will, we're not talking about free in the sense that you want it to be. We're talking about the ability to choose a different outcome from the one that it's being predisposed or predetermined, because there are such things, and you could act in a deterministic manner. Yes, that happens. You can act randomly. Yes, that happens. You can also act out of free will, you can affect the outcome that it
Right,
is
so that's just
predisposed by
Tasteless, what
using
you
your
begging
just
the
free
said, it
will.
doesn't
question.
even make sense.
Now,
It's
what is
gibberish.
the argument for that? It is
Like there's so many
indeterminate.
things that don't make sense there. Like
Well,
the
you can
first thing
prove
he
if you
said
want.
was,
Now, I proved you, Big Chum, and I provided you with the problem in your argument for determinism, and
Tasteless, did you
that's what
hear
happened.
us
What
just now?
that
No,
was what
didn't.
happened.
Did all
You just
three of
said
us
that.
said that what you
And you
said
said,
didn't
"Oh,
make sense?
you googled it," and I said, "No, man.
the
Yeah, you
first dumb
googled
thing he
it."
said is that you could change things that were predetermined.
Right.
I'm sorry. What?
How do you change something that's predetermined?
How? Well, I already told you, Tomer. Let's say, for instance,
Well, you can't by definition.
No.
you can't by definition.
Right.
Oh,
If you're
really?
if you're determined to do something, then thwarting the
Hmm.
determination means that you were never actually determined to do the very thing that you thwarted.
This is
No,
Predetermined
I
means
don't
it's
think
inevitable.
that's correct, dude. I don't think that's correct. Listen to your
Tasteless, are
friend
you
again.
trolling?
I love Godless.
Regardless, are you trolling me?
Tasteless, look, I'm just telling you. You think that I'm lying to you, or do you think that I just am unaware of what predetermined means? I'm telling you right now, predetermined entails that something is inevitable.
It does.
Really?
Yeah.
Incredulously.
Something? No. Now listen. And you believe that that thing to be true?
Wait, Tasteless, do this
I
one, do this one.
believe.
No, no, no,
Do
no,
I
Are
no,
you
no.
believe the
Listen.
determined to
definition?
believe that?
Are
No,
you
look,
saying
put free will
godless?
aside.
That
Wait, put free will aside for a second. I want to stick to this. Tasteless, why do you think that all three of us are wrong about what predetermined means, and you know the right answer, and we're just all confused, and it's not you who is
no,
confused?
no. Listen. Let me tell you why it is wrong. Okay. Whenever you say
Wait. So you do
something
think it's
of
wrong? Wait.
The answer is
Tasteless,
yes,
you do
then.
think that it's wrong? You do
I'm
think that
sorry,
we're
what?
wrong?
Predetermined.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, so
Look,
yes, and
Tasteless,
then go
what?
ahead and
Look,
Is
answer.
that cool or no?
Well, you wanna answer straightforwardly. So you say yes,
Yes,
and then
I
you'll say
will. I
and why
will.
I believe that is, and you just
Yes, of course. When we're talking about predeterminism, like you said,
Yes, of course.
and your
give us your
understanding is that
definition
things
of
are
predetermined.
inevitable. Listen. Whenever you say that things are inevitable, you are then assuming that there's only one possible outcome for every interaction, godless.
Look,
Okay,
Tasteless, I'm not making any claims
that
about our
is
world right now. We are
predeterminism,
talking about
which
the
is
definition of
wrong.
predetermined. You have accused me of not knowing what it
Determined
means.
Oh, no, I
means
get
that
it.
it has a cause
But you're
that
you're
was
disputing.
unavoidable, but you're going backwards, and that's fine.
Tasteless, if
But
it's
whenever you're talking
unavoidable,
about the
isn't
future,
Tasteless, you're just using a synonym for what I said. I said inevitable, and you just said it's unavoidable. What the fuck?
no. Listen,
it's
there's a
spoken.
difference of something that was caused by
Sometimes
another
I wonder
thing
if
that is
Tasteless is
determined,
Tasteless, I'm not talking. I
and,
don't want to talk about
and
that. I
you are
want to talk about
saying
the word
that the outcome is
predetermined.
inevitable. Okay, that is just flat wrong an assumption.
What do you think that
We're still on
predetermined
the
means?
definitions.
I already told you, and I'm trying to explain to you, Godless, the difference between what is determined and what do you think it is determined. Okay, determined means that something caused it. Okay, that is determined. That it doesn't work. It is not that something
Why
is
are you using the
unavoidable.
word determined now instead of predetermined?
It
We
is
are
not
talking
that
about
something is unavoidable, Godless. It has nothing to do with that concept. You are the one misunderstanding that fucking word for what is something that it is not the case.
He
Okay?
just doubles
Okay,
down.
look, I want to try this method when I'm talking with you. So
Sure.
at any point in our conversation, I want to be able to say, Tasteless, what are we supposed to be talking about right now? And you answer me. So right now, what we are supposed to be talking about is the definition of predetermined. Okay? Do you understand that?
Predetermined? Sure.
The definition of predetermined.
Yes. Go ahead.
What do you think the definition of predetermined is?
Something that will happen if certain conditions are met.
Look, I'm Googling. It's, look, predestined is the first thing that
that's a different claim. Predestined is different from predetermined.
Look, so you're disagreeing with the dictionary then?
No, Godless. Come on, Godless. Tell me, for you to think that predetermined is an actual thing, you would need to assume that there's only one possible outcome out of every interaction.
About whether anything. Look, we live in a completely random universe. There's no cause or effect. All I'm talking about is the definition of fucking predetermined, Tasteless. All we're talking about is the definition of predetermined. Nothing is predetermined in our universe, okay? I'll give you that.
So what is predetermined?
We are talking about the definition of predetermined. Now,
it is unavoidable? Is that what you're saying? Tell me where it says that it's unavoidable.
Tasteless, you disagree with the dictionary definition. How is anybody supposed to have a conversation with you when you're talking about fucking other, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about, and neither do you. Why do you not accept the dictionary definition?
It's a misunderstanding.
Tasteless, why would we want to talk to somebody that doesn't use words correctly?
Like I said, Godless, if you want to force your understanding of what predetermined means to make it seem unavoidable, that is a different thing, dude. But there is no way.
Tasteless, I want to use words. Is it unreasonable for me to want to use words in which they are used, in the way they are used in the dictionary?
Like, and then
in the dictionary.
What?
Yeah.
Postmodern.
Where does it in the dictionary says that it is unavoidable?
What
because
is
that is what I'm contesting.
Means it's inevitable. If you can't avoid it, then you couldn't have done otherwise.
Well, when does it say it's inevitable?
Predeterminism is the idea that all events
are synonyms. In advance. Those are synonyms, fucking Tasteless.
That are what?
If something is going to be unavoidable, then something is inevitable. Those two things are synonyms. Do you know what a synonym is?
Yes, of course.
I love
synonyms. Yes, like I said, Godless. For you to say that things are already destined to be, and it is unavoidable.
Tasteless, what are we talking about right now?
Tasteless synonym roles.
I am talking about your understanding of what that entails on reality, Godless.
We're talking about the definition of predetermined. Do you remember? Did you forget?
Shoot.
Dumbass, did you fucking forget, Tasteless? How about I put it in text for you? Look, I'm going to put it in text.
Yes,
and every time you forget, then everybody laugh at Tasteless. Every time he forgets. Are you fucking trolling me, Tasteless?
Understanding, right? I am not.
We are talking about the definition of predetermined.
Yes, but you're assuming, Godless, that when you're using that word and the things are what you're saying, you are necessarily holding to the idea that every single event has only one single possible outcome.
Talking about the definition.
So what you're saying
I am not saying. Listen. I am not saying. Listen. Whenever you're saying, let's
Tasteless, what are we talking about right now?
For another round, okay?
Tasteless, what are we talking about right now?
I am having an issue with your understanding of what's something to be predetermined, Godless.
Okay, why did you? We're talking about the definition of predetermined.
Let's say that is a definition.
And he's
so
not.
What? No. Let's say, so what, Godless?
Why did you fucking lie to me, Tasteless? Why did you fucking lie? You agreed to talk about the definition of predetermined with me, and now you're refusing to do so. Why? Why did you fucking lie to me, you fucking piece of shit?
Yes, Godless. So what?
Oh my God.
So what? You're saying that is a definition. So what? What is the entailment? When you're saying in declaring
what the definition
things
is,
are determined, that is something that
conversation.
it is just not possible.
Why did you fucking lie to me, Tasteless?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
You agreed to talk about the definition of predetermined with me. Not whether or not the universe is fucking, there's predetermined things in the universe.
What was my contention then, Godless?
You're talking about other shit. And when I ask you, what are we supposed to be talking about? You don't even fucking remember your fucking promise to me.
You don't even know what you're discussing, Godless.
You're a piece of shit.
Yes, Godless. You don't know what the fuck you're even discussing.
Take your ring back.
So,
let's be honest.
She
you don't know what
clarified
you're
it, Tasteless, in the beginning. She
Tasteless,
clarified exactly what you guys were talking about.
So whenever Godless says that things are predetermined, right, in reality,
irrelevant.
she is making the assumption that there's only one possible outcome out of one, every fucking event,
But
which
she's
is
going by
just
the definition,
false.
just to be
Okay,
fair.
which is just false. Now, things are determined, and we can make that call that things were, predisposed or
It's like not even self-aware.
Listen. We are that predisposition inclines us to have, to make particular decisions. However, just because something is
Okay,
inclined
let's start
doesn't
wrapping it up.
mean or negate the fact that we can actually change the outcome, right? So godless, according to godless, since that is the definition, therefore things are determined in reality. That's my contention. That is flawed.
So it's subjective.
It's not what she said at all.
That is what she's defending, dude.
I don't know
She's
why you
saying
guys do
that
this
things
stuff. Like,
cannot be
Tasteless,
not
like, if you're trolling,
not
if you're
fucking
trolling, okay, that's
She's
things
not.
cannot
if you're
change
trolling,
because they are
if you're trolling,
determined,
you're
and
pretty
determined
Predeterminism
means
is another
that
man's
they are
basket of
Tasteless,
options.
they are
not her
predestined.
Can I
ethical.
talk for a second? If you're look, I don't think
Please.
you're trolling. If you are, then you're pretty fucking awesome. But I don't think you are. I think that you're just. I mean, a child could understand what's being said, and I think that you're just. I find it very sad. I find it very sad, and this is why I don't try to engage with you, Tasteless. I don't know why
Okay,
other people
you are
do.
trolling. That's
I won't
fine,
be talking.
godless.
I won't be talking to Tasteless anymore.
That's fine, godless. Keep trolling.
You think Godless is trolling?
So
Yes.
tasteless.
So now,
Can I ask you a
yes,
question?
yes.
This is
Sure.
Christian Olaf. So are you trying to basically convey that one man's predeterminism is another man's basket of options? I'm not really joking. I mean, that's
What I'm saying, dude, is that things that
There we
are
go.
listen, determined in some way
right.
have
Like
that
subjective, right? You
determinism.
might see it as some option list, but then another person see options.
Listen, that creates a tendency, okay, and that's all there is to it. Even if things are, heavily predisposed towards one fucking side, you are able to change that fucking outcome just by using free will. Now, I am not saying that your free will
Lost.
didn't have a cause. It has a cause, but since consciousness is not it doesn't act in a deterministic manner. It is created as a result of biological processes that creates the emergent property we know as consciousness. Now, the emergent property of consciousness is free will. Okay, it is not determined by biological impulses. So even if things are, yes, a result that physical determinism, let's say, right? Even if that is the case, that doesn't mean that the result is determined in advance. That is just false.
Tasteless, why did you
So
lie to
what
G?
she was trying to say was
That's the definition
things,
of the fucking term,
things are
dude.
predetermined. You cannot have a different outcome, because this is what predetermined or determinism means.
Look,
But that is irrelevant.
Tasteless, stop. We don't want this. We're going to do questions, okay? No more of this diatribing shit. You ask a question,
Sure.
somebody asks you a question. Answer like that. No more fucking diatribing. This is fucking
Sure.
ridiculous.
Go ahead.
Why did you lie to G?
I don't know what she means whenever she says you lie to me.
But you told her you were going to talk about the definition of determinism, right?
Uh-huh. So
And
what?
then instead of talking about the definition of determinism, argued with her about determinism.
No. Oh shit, dude. Okay. Whenever
Right.
Gigi wanted to talk about the definition of determinism and the, let's say, the implications of that,
Make sure this is short,
definition,
Tasteless.
that is what matters, right? That is
No,
exactly
it's
what matters.
not. When you want to talk
She was
about the
arguing.
definition, what matters
Listen,
is the
Big Chum.
definition, right?
Listen, man. She was
Doesn't-
arguing not about the definition. She was arguing that things cannot be. Listen, this is what she said. Things cannot be avoidable because they are determined. Why? Because
No.
the definition of determinism says it is determined in advance. And I said, yeah,
A
but that
definition
is
is
not
an
the
argument.
case in reality. Because in reality, you don't get one single outcome of every event. So she was saying, but the
Tasteless.
definition. What do you
Tasteless.
want me to do? Let's say,
Holy shit.
I don't know what she is fucking fighting,
Alright,
dude.
give me a chance.
Okay,
here.
you're done, Tasteless. You're somebody else's turn.
You're talking about the definition of determinism. Your reason for not wanting to talk about the definition is irrelevant. Like the fact
Not
is,
wanting to. Let's
hold on, Jesus. So the fact is, the definition of something not constitute an argument for that thing. So when she wants to talk to you about the definition, that's exactly what she's expecting to talk about.
why would she talking about the definition then? What was the reason that she brought up the
Does
definition?
it matter?
Yes, it matters because she brought up the definition as a way.
We never got to find out because
say
you
that
wouldn't
things
follow.
were
You wouldn't
not.
follow along.
Listen, that
Exactly.
things were not avoidable. That's why
No.
she fucking
No.
researched or went to the
Appealing
definition.
to
Yes, of course.
This
That
is why
is exactly
Tom,
what she was doing.
This is why Tom made one of the rules in the conversation not able to be appealing motivations, because you're appealing motivations behind asking.
Okay, then you tell me
the
why
definition right now.
why she was fighting that.
Irrelevant.
Give me the reason why she was fighting
I
that.
would like to tell the other people. I had abandoned early on. I had abandoned the conversation about free will, and I was just trying to hone down on one thing with Tasteless, and that was going to be the definition of predetermined. Because he said he believed that Tom, Big Chum, and I, and whatever that girl was, were all wrong about the definition of predetermined, and we're all confused. And I wanted to show. I was going to try to show him, look, we're using the dictionary definition, and try to get to him to admit that he was wrong. Even though I'm likely. And from there, I was going to be like, see, this happens all the time in conversations, Tasteless. Like, why do you think that the other person is confused when you're the one that's confused? But it never got to that point. Tasteless isn't
He
even
still thinks
capable.
it's a debate.
So let me
Look,
ask you
he's
something,
posting
Godless.
indeterminism
If that
as
is what you're saying, then why the fuck would I fucking do, make this fucking table when there's determinism that is saying exactly what you're saying? That is not the point of contention, Godless. That is not even the objection.
Stop.
making.
Tasteless, you asked the question.
Do you think that we're still debating about like determinism or something?
I don't know what you are debating, Godless.
What do you think that I just said?
Well, you are saying no, but the fucking definition. But so what? What is the
think
fucking?
that that's what I said.
That is what you were fighting about, according to me. Perhaps I'm wrong.
No, just
what were you
just now,
fighting about?
Since I've spoken back up. Is that what you think I was doing?
Whenever you
This is your chance for Gigi to want to talk to you.
No, she doesn't want to talk to me, dude.
Well, depending on if
Be
you're
honest,
able to
Douglas,
rectify
I
the
don't
situation.
know
No, I'm
what
just saying. Like,
we're
no,
debating.
now I'm just trying to evaluate how far gone he is. Like, Tasteless, do you have any idea what I said?
Right now, Godless, you said that you had a one last thing that you wanted to discuss with me, and it was the definition of determinism, right? Because I was claiming that you guys didn't know what determinism was, which is a flat lie.
Right.
All I'm saying is that if you think that determinism is a thing,
You're
that you
breaking
are
up, David.
fucking
Off.
stupid.
Like, you can't. You're not coming
Anyone
through.
who thinks that we don't have free will is stupid by default in my book. Okay,
Tasteless,
this is what I'm saying.
Did you hear me? Why did I want to talk about the definition of determinism with you? Was it
Because
still
that
to
is
talk
the
about-
only topic that remained, not according to you. We didn't, you didn't get the chance to talk about it, and you didn't.
He said it earlier, right? Tasteless, didn't you say that she wanted to talk to you because it was her opinion that we didn't have the understanding of determinism correct, but that wasn't your opinion? Is that what you said earlier? Like 30 seconds ago?
She was
Tasteless,
claiming.
I said that I no longer wanted to talk about free will or cause and effect or determinism in our universe. And I just wanted to talk about the definition of determinism. And do you know why?
Why?
Did you hear what I said?
Why?
So is it that I'm just trying to evaluate here. I said why already. Is it that you didn't hear me, or is it that you just didn't understand what I said and that's why you
said that I said that you guys didn't understand determinism, or that you were talking about something different, or something along those lines, which is your understanding of my position whenever I stated that anyone who believes that we have no free will is just stupid by default. And this has something that I've said multiple occasions. Perhaps you understand something different of what I was trying to convey, right? But that is it. I mean, if you were just fighting, the definition of determinism.
Let me just try to. Okay, I want to see how. My goal is to try to get you to follow a conversation as much as I can. So I want to see how much I can succeed. So Tasteless, the reason I wanted to talk about the definition of determinism had nothing to do with free will. It had nothing to do with debating whether determinism is in our universe, whether there's cause and effect, whether we live in a completely random universe. It had nothing to do with that discussion. Do you understand that? I'm telling you that now. Do you understand what I just said?
Yeah. So let me ask you something then.
No,
What
look,
was your
restate
beef?
what I said. Look,
Yes.
I want no. Look,
Yes.
Tasteless, see,
You didn't want to talk about about
Tasteless,
free will and the philosophical position. You just wanted to refer to the definition of determinism, right? Why?
yes.
Okay. Let me ask you why.
Okay, good. So I think that you actually did understand because you were able to restate what I said. So let's see if we can get further. The reason I wanted to talk about the definition of determinism was because I wanted you to recognize that there's something wrong with you when you're claiming that Tom and Big Chum and I all don't know what it means. And you do.
Listen.
That's why. Now restate
Okay.
what I just said. Now restate what I
Yes. That you have a problem with me. According to you, this is what you understand about me, saying that you guys don't understand. Not Tom or you or Big Chum, that you don't understand what determinism is. That's what you understood about
the word predeterminism means.
the word predeterminism. Okay, I never made that claim. Okay, I never
You
made that
said
claim.
that we were using it incorrectly.
No, godless. I didn't said that.
Yeah, you did.
That you were using it incorrectly?
You said we were all wrong.
Well, that's different.
But I think he means
This is
wrong.
this is what I'm saying. Whenever I say it,
Ontological
godless, that you
sense.
don't understand, is referring to the fact that you think this is even possible. Okay. Whenever
Look,
you say that
wait, now, Tasteless,
predeterminism
did you
is a
forget?
thing,
Did you like? Is it like something with like short-term memory?
what do you mean?
Tasteless, did you forget that it's no longer up for discussion whether free will exists, whether there's any determinism in our universe? That's no longer up for discussion. Do you understand that?
Okay, godless, do you understand that I never even that thought never even crossed my mind that you don't understand what the definition is? I never made that claim. Now, that you don't know what the definition is. I have never made that claim. It would be stupid for me to make that claim.
Tasteless, you
I
told
have
me that I
never.
was wrong.
But listen, godless. The one thing is to know one thing, and another thing is to understand that thing, godless. And whenever people think
Tasteless, are you telling me you don't remember telling me that I was wrong, and even after I looked it up in the dictionary,
about what? That's the important part. So, because if I say you're wrong and you say, you're saying that I'm wrong because of this,
So
that is
you don't
your
know,
assumption.
you don't know what I'm referring to when I say I was wrong, that you said I was wrong. You don't know what I'm referring to?
According to your
You said I was wrong about?
interpretation, I was bitching about you not knowing about the definition. Really, godless? Is that what you were objecting to?
You told me I was wrong about the definition, and even after I showed you in the dictionary what it said, you said the dictionary was wrong.
But
He does that sometimes.
did you fucking understand what I was saying, godless? Tell me what is it that I was saying? Because I specifically told you what determinism was. Okay. Now you and I and whenever I was talking about assuming, because this is what you said, godless. You said that it wasn't possible. This is your claim. It is not possible. It is impossible. Why? Because determinism means it is determined in advance. Okay, it is unavoidable. This is what you're saying. You are advocating for the fact that you're declaring determinism to be a thing, and I'm saying no, godless. To assume that determinism is even a thing it necessitates
Tasteless,
you to
Tasteless, I think you
believe
forgot.
that there's
I
only
think you
one
forgot
possible
again.
outcome.
Look, I think you
Did you
forgot
remember
again.
me saying this, godless or no?
Tasteless, look, I think that you
Did I
forgot
said
again.
this, yes or no? Because I didn't know that you were.
Tasteless, this
This
isn't
this
up for
was your
discussion.
objection,
Look,
godless.
look, the last thing I said to you was one of the last things I said to you was the determinism being true or false or even possible in our universe is no longer up for discussion. Do you remember me saying that?
That was the last thing that you brought up, right? But
Right.
I don't know then.
So I don't
What are
understand.
you debating
Please
about?
help me understand. Please help me understand. Do you understand and you're just choosing to like talk about it anyway?
I understand, godless. What I don't understand is your initial beef. That is what I don't understand.
Right,
Because
but that's
according
not
to
up for
the
discussion.
initial
Look,
objection,
my initial beef was about free will and determinism, and that's no
yes,
longer up for discussion.
okay, godless. That was what I was referring to. Now, whenever you
Yeah,
say
but
you
the,
don't know about
but the
the
thing
fucking
is,
definition, come on.
what is wrong with you if you're not retarded that you continue to refer to that when I'm telling you it's not up for discussion? That's not what this is about right now.
Well, if you
Now, I predict
changed
that you're going to
the
do it again. I
the
think that you're going to
goal,
do it again. I think you're going to
well,
start talking about whether
like I said,
determinism is true
no,
or
no, no,
not right now.
godless. Listen to me. Listen to me. Whenever you change then the goal and you change it to something else, then to me that's why it didn't make sense. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about, and you were starting yelling and shit, and that's fine. I mean, but to be honest, I don't even know what the fuck did you get so upset about. And then you
I
just
got
say,
upset because you lied to me.
lie about what, godless?
You said that you would talk to me about the definition of determinism and not about whether or not determinism in our universe was true. And then you started talking about whether or not determinism was true.
Holy shit,
Right.
godless.
Do
So
you understand
What do
what
you
was just
want,
said?
godless? I don't understand what you want, to be
talking
honest.
about the concept of
I'm
something.
curious. I'm like fascinated by you right now. I'm like psychologically examining you, Tasteless. I've never encountered somebody like this before. It must have just been I've just been tuning you out in this server. I didn't know what a fucking how fascinated I could be by this right now that you can't even follow. I mean, a 3-year-old can follow. I'm not even exaggerating. A 3-year-old can follow a conversation better than you can.
I understand. So whenever I'm talking about, let's say, for instance, we're talking about a tree, right? And we have a source. Now I go back to the source whenever we're talking about an issue, right? So we
Right.
don't go on
let
another
me
tangent that it is irrelevant, right? So whenever you changed or you decided to change the root of your beef, that's where I got confused because I no longer knew what the fucking beef
So,
you were
Big Chum,
having.
you want to talk to him right now? What are you going to do? Sit there and debate free will with this
Well,
guy?
So
I'm
what
just
do you
gonna
want me to
I
do,
just want to
Douglas?
point out
I
the
don't
distinction
understand.
between, because you mentioned the concept of a tree. Okay, so if you're talking to someone and you're trying to define what a tree is,
That
um,
wasn't the first topic, chum.
it's different from
That
defining what a
wasn't the
tree.
first topic we were
Right,
discussing
but
about, Tom.
this
Do
is an
you
analogy.
time?
This is an analogy to the topic.
No, it is this
No,
analogy
wait,
because
Big
you're
Chum. I don't
jumping
understand.
ahead
Did
to the
you not
second
just
fucking
witness what
goal.
I witnessed? Look,
No, I
I'm
witnessed.
not upset at you, but
I
I don't
watched
look. I'm
it.
not upset at you at all. You can do whatever you want, but I don't understand. Now I'm fascinated by you. I don't understand how an adult, after hearing the conversation that I just had with Tasteless, would proceed to debate him.
I'm not debating him.
What would proceed to try
Um,
to have an adult discussion with him?
yeah, well, I just want to see if I can point out something and then have him notice it. I've tried many times before and I've
Yeah, but
failed
that's
many
what
times.
Goblins is trying to do.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to help Godless.
Oh, you mean a third goal now? Okay, that's fine. You
Jesus,
can
what do you
change the
think we're
goal
talking about, right? What do you think
as
you're
much as you
talking
like for you to feel that you're correct, Godless. That's fine.
Jesus, what are you talking about right now? What are we talking about right now?
Who are you, Comer?
Oh my god, he's like
Tom,
completely retarded now.
how confident, Tom, are you that he's not just trolling?
Oh, he's always been like this. You always just tune him out.
But why have you tried to have real discussions with him?
So let
Or
me
if
get
it's,
this
if it's
straight.
just that it's so
Godless.
horrible that I've been tuning both of you out because you're
Let me,
part of a conversation with him that I'm tuning you out too.
so let me get this straight, Godless. First, you were having a problem and you were talking about free will. Then, in the middle of that shit, you said, well, let's talk just, I don't care about that. Let's just talk
Listen,
about the
it's like
definition,
worse
right?
than that guy
And then you were
Wu.
started to fighting
This
about
is
the
fucking
definition, right?
insane. How does he function? How
Why
does
did
he
you
like,
do
get
that?
up and go
You
to the
just
store in the
separated
morning?
one thing from the other, Godless.
This is why everybody complains
This
about
is
him
why
because
Christian
he never
Hillbilly
stops
is
talking.
better.
You're just delusional. I'm sorry. I mean, this conversation is over, and I appreciate it,
Like,
Godless. You
just
better hold to that
Thank
fucking,
God.
promise
Fuck.
that you made.
Hey, Tasteless.
look, can some like does Tasteless? Do you have a job?
That is none of your business.
No, well, no. The reason is I'm asking is I don't. I this look. And I'm not. Sometimes people say like this, like, say shit like this just to be like is an insult to be sarcastic. I am sincere when I'm saying this right now. I don't think somebody like that could hold a job, right? They wouldn't
He's
be
a
able to
fucking
function
airline
at a
pilot.
job, right? Like even if it's just like a fucking McDonald's or something, somebody like that would not be able to work at a job,
He's a
right?
rocket.
Holy shit, Godless.
Can you
That
imagine
was
Tasteless
funny.
being an
That was
airline pilot?
very funny and ironic.
No, I'm not trying to be funny. Like I'm really asking you guys.
Well, I understand, but the irony is just
No, I don't
JetBlue,
think
it's
so.
just so funny,
Control,
man.
There's just
you
no
have
way.
no understanding of reality. You have a flawed
To
interpretation.
Gigi, he couldn't repeat back what you asked him to repeat back several times.
Tasteless, what do you think we're
No,
talking
to
about?
be honest,
Tasteless, what do you think we're talking
It
about
is
right now?
very significant coming from you.
He
What
can't
you
do it.
said. It is very interesting to me, also, Godless, that you are the one making that claim. To me, I mean, it is just either I don't know if it's just projection. It is deeply interesting. I don't know, man. It is just interesting, Godless.
Tasteless, what do you think we're talking about right now?
Oh fuck.
Jesus, man. So, actually, I take it back, Godless. He's never been this bad. Well, I mean, he probably has been, but I'm just saying this is a moment.
Full
even for-
tasteless.
The funny thing is that he laughs like we're not laughing at him. It's what's funny.
Oh no, he's aware we're laughing at him. That's why he said the conversation was over.
I said the conversation was over way before he ever could.
Yeah, Tasteless, we're laughing at you, not with you.
Tasteless, what was the question that Godless wanted you to answer? Yeah, he knows. He knows he looks really bad.
This is the motherfucking hate star.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Tasteless knows. You can tell. Tasteless, are you still there, bud? Yeah, he's done. This goose is cooked, boys.
Declan, I'm gonna put you laughing on a 1 hour sound.
Jesus Christ.
And then
I would feel sorry for you.
I'm gonna play it at opportune times. You know what? I should have actually put on the Jeopardy theme question music. Godless was asking question.
Tasteless, are you there, bud?
Yeah.
What was the question Godless wanted you to answer? Oh my god. This is... Yeah, it almost seems like a troll, doesn't it?
What was the question Godless asked you to?
Oh, Jesus.
Tasteless, are you there, bud? Actually, there's another question we need answered. Bacon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you record that?